Did we ever think that two boys from Sparkbrook would get this far and achieve what we have? Hard work, blood, sweat and tears. When we started, the store used to open 6 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we called it dawn till dusk. Our father left us when we were very, very young. And so our mother, brought us up. So she worked hard in factories. She made a living. It was a shop that was only taking, £500-600 a week, and you ended up doing £20,000 a week.
After the foundation sets the example.
They thought, you're going to get your head kicked in. It was different. You had to.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Yeah, well, exactly that. So that was the biggest kick up the backside we got. And it's about creating a brand, having passion in what you're doing, and creating employment. Sometimes we ask ourselves, how many franchises we got? Sometimes we miss one out. When we're doing our tallying, we missed one out, we missed that one out. Plan is to grow national. Plan is to get about 100 franchises up and down the country. Stop having the love for the business, the love for the brand, the passion for the brand. That's when it all falls apart.
Did you ever think that you get this far?
Yeah, I think it's really important that you can't talk about our present and how we got here without involving my mother's journey. So we are here, both of us brothers, myself and my brother are here today because of the efforts and hard work of my late mother, who passed away in 2008. And also as people from Pakistan, we should be grateful. We should be grateful for our parents and grandparents who came to this country back in the late 60s and 70s and gave us a future here. Because, as you know, through the charity work, I work in Pakistan a lot of time, and you see the conditions of how people are living there. Even, we're in the 21st century where a lot of the places you find don't even have water. A lot of people don't have roofs over their heads. And, you just got to be really thankful that, our parents came to this country to start a new life, worked hard, and then obviously gave us a future. So, like I said, we can't talk about our future and how we got to where we are without talking about our parents, because that's really important.
Obviously, the foundation sets the example.
That's right.
Yeah. So, how was he growing up?
Growing up in 1970s, I was born in 1969. My brother was born in 1967. We went to Golden Hillock School.
Okay.
In Sparkbrook, and that's where we grew up in Fallows Road in Sparkbrook, and it was it was nice. You can look back, not many roads, not many cars on the roads. Streets were really empty. We weren't encouraged to go out. Parents didn't encourage you to go out and play football, or because they thought you're going to get your head kicked in. Because there was racism in and I think when I was growing up, there's that sort of fashion icons, the mods and I can't remember them now, but these guys were wearing green bomber jackets, shaved heads. The British flag all around their body, and it was a horrible time, but you just got on with it.
Yeah. But so, how did the business aspect kind of come in? Like, was that always your vision, or like?
No, the business. I think we came on to the business. Our mother, she obviously was single. Our father left us when we were very, very young, and so our mother, brought us up. She had to obviously get on in life, and so she worked hard in factories. She made a living. She was probably one of the first women from a Kashmiri background to buy her own house in the 1977, I think it was, when she first bought the house that she was renting for almost 10 years. She was probably one of the first women from the Kashmiri background who passed her driving test.
Okay.
She just got on with her life, brought us up, kept us on the straight and narrow. And we're so grateful for that, because whatever we are today is because of her. And it got to a point where she wanted us to move out of Sparkbrook and Spark, because she felt it wasn't the right environment for both of us brothers. And she bought us a little corner shop.
Okay.
In Erdington.
Okay, yeah.
where you live.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so she bought us a little corner shop in 1984, and on the eve of we took over the store on 10th of May, 1984. Mom sat us down and she said, "Look, boys, all my life's earnings are in this shop. Whatever I've earned in my life for the last 10, 12 years, I've sold my gold, whatever I had. I've sold the house where we lived.
Yeah.
I've put it all into this little business, because above it was a flat. We had a 2-bedroom flat where both us brothers and mom lived.
Okay, yeah.
And downstairs was a shop." She goes, "I've put it all in here. Now, if you make good of this, if you work hard, be transparent, be honest, you will flourish and you'll do well. But if you mess this up and you decide to go down the easy route and try to think, well, be lazy and don't work the shop, then it's your misfortune." And so that was the biggest kick up the backside we got, and it woke us up. That this is
Where
reality.
did she get that from? That character, that drive, that energy?
You got to ask all the mothers of that generation, where do they get that from? And especially hard times teach you hard lessons. And she went through a phase where her husband had left her. She didn't feel sorry for herself. She just got up and said, "Look, I've got mouths to feed. I've got 2 young children," because we were only I was 1 year old, my brother was 3 years old. She said, "Look, I've got a rent to pay, keep a roof over my head, and young mouths to feed." So she just got on with her life, and that toughens you up. Teaches you harsh lessons.
But sometimes that could be like a bigger burden to overcome than not like. So let's say like if you had, let's say, a dad and a mom, and they were just doing like a normal job, or like there wasn't really too much pressure on you to succeed. Then it'd be kind of easier for you, less pressure. But for you, she kind of throw you in the deep end. Like
she did throw us in the deep end, but she knew our strengths and she knew our weakness. She was always supportive. She's always supported what we done. I mean, we from that paper shop, we ran that for about 4 years. That was a shop that was only taking, £500-600 a week, and you can't. In those days, 1984, probably £500-600 was a lot of money.
What's the inflation like? So what's that now roughly? About what, 4,000 maybe?
Well, to put in perspective, we worked hard that store, both brothers, and that store that was taking £800 a week ended up doing £20,000 a week. And that was because we opened longer hours. I mean, in those days, in 1984, little corner shops weren't opening long hours. So we just, it was 2 of us brothers were sitting at home, sitting in the shop thinking, you can't just run and earn £800 a week running a shop for about 40 hours a week. You just need to,
Did it help that you're it's basically home as well, because you're living upstairs? So
it did help.
Like you have to trek there, or like
it didn't have to trek there, but I mean it helped because then you're able to do the longer hours. Or we started, when we started, the store used to open 6 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. On a Saturday it used to open at 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, and a Sunday is open at 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And all the rest of the time you're just sitting doing nothing, watching videotapes. And so we decided that we're gonna open longer hours. So we called it Dawn Till Dusk. We opened up at 5:30 in the morning.
So that's how the name stuck.
And we closed at 10 o'clock, and that's what changed everything for us. And then we decided to sort of diversify and go into the food business. My brother found a little shop in Walsall, a little chip shop called Sue's Fish Bar. He told me to go there, so I went there for 6 months training with a Greek guy who taught me how to cut the fish, how to peel the potatoes, serve customers, cut the kebabs. So does
that drive come to your mom?
What's that?
So when you're on about Dawn to Dusk and working all these hours, like like obviously today's generation, they're like, oh, you can't work 24 hours a day, or like you gotta have a work-life balance.
See, the thing is that but you see, if you when we were growing up and the situation we were in, it was different. You had to
sink or swim.
Exactly that. And it's today's generation. It's very, very different. The TikTok generation is very, very different. They can do business on mobile phones. They can, but ours was physical, hard work,
Yeah,
blood, sweat, and tears.
But was it ever like, did you ever burn out? So, you know, because you skipped past the night and you went to Sue's Fish Bar and you went to learn there.
Yeah.
But before that, if you're doing 12-hour shifts every day of the week, every month basically.
But when you're
week
young,
in, week out.
when you're young, and you know.
But you never thought like,
no, we never thought of it. We just got on with it.
Okay.
You know, we just had to, get on with the attitude. Don't sort of think, I'm tired, I need a day off, I need a break, I can't work Sundays, I can't work Saturdays.
Okay.
No, just get on with it. 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. And you don't achieve anything in life without putting the effort in. And our mother motivated us. And gave us a direction. And that's where,
So when Big Uncle goes, you gotta go see his fish bar and that, you guys are told to F off and do one like.
No. If you've seen the size of Big John, it'll knock you out. No, you don't. Well, you see, the thing is that it was something that we wanted to try out, get into the food business. The margins were better, and from that we.
How did you realize that?
Pardon?
How did you realize that the margins were better in food?
Well, obviously, in food margins generally better than
but I know, like it seems obvious, but obviously when you're in it, you still gotta navigate it. Like it's still a big decision to go into food from paper shop.
It was a big decision, but I think it paid off because obviously from there we opened we took on another store in Erdington, Six Ways. That was our first sort of big investment and big sort of jump from a little corner shop to a little chip shop to a big business. And again, our mother was behind that. She put the sort of collateral behind that. Put the security of our paper shop. My mother had a house. She put the security of that so that we can buy that shop in Erdington, Six Ways.
So how did that risk come about? Like how did that mindset to take the risk?
The risk side, to be honest, the risk side of the business comes from my brother. My brother's very much jumps into a project straight away. Thinks about it later. But me, I'm the sort of the one. I'm very much sort of hold him back and say, look, do we need to do it? Is it right? And even to this day, before we do anything, whatever we do, we discuss it first. He'd say, no, I want to go in for it, and I'll maybe tell him, no, is it right? Is it wrong?
But what was that thing? So if you turn around a paper shop that's doing £300-400 a week, and then you took it to 20,000, that's a massive jump. Like most men would be happy with that. Like, that store were not only opening longer hours, but obviously you had to sort of bring the store into the current. So the store was very much 70s, 80s style corner shop. So you had to bring it in line into what the current trends were at that time. So the store needed expansion, new shelving, new lighting, new ceiling, new floors, and ceilings, and then obviously new EPOS systems. Widening your range of products inside your business. So not just selling newspapers and sweets and confectionery, but also grocery lines, and you have the whole sort of where someone can do a weekly shop possibly. And in those days, they termed them as convenience stores. Because that was a trend that came out back in the 1980s, convenience stores. That was one of the. Wasn't that enough though? So that growth there, like you get what I'm trying to say. Like as in, like 99% of people would just be like, we took it from here to here, bang, we've done it.
To be honest, I don't think.
Play golf.
I don't think money was the motivator for us.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I think it was at the time when we started the takeaway side of the business, creating a brand, Big John's, and then wanting to grow that business, create employment. Build a name, build a brand for yourself. That was the whole thing. Money was, it was, how much, what are you going to eat? In our culture, they'll say we're only going to eat 2 chapatis. Why are you earning all this money for? But I think for us was sort of
success,
being successful in what you're doing, and being a role model for people, especially from our culture, Kashmiri culture, being a role model for them, and hopefully motivating them to come into business.
So is DNA important? Is DNA important in terms of like your lineage and your heritage?
Well, look, I if you look at our lineage and heritage, my parents, my grandparents were just landowners in Pakistan. You know, that's what they were.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, if they hadn't taken those steps back in the 70s to come into the UK, we're probably now sitting in some mud hut somewhere in Pakistan.
I have a similar thing because it was my great uncle, so my granddad's older brother.
Yeah.
He basically, they weren't letting him in the UK, so they kind of like started like basically blending him off kind of. So he went down to from Bloody to Karachi and started selling teas, trying to make up the money, and then he met an army official through, you know, selling the teas and stuff.
Right.
Then he basically got him into the UK. And then so all that dedication, them 2 years spending there, because he was chasing a dream, like you want to get to the UK, do something. And through that, obviously my granddad came along, and then that's when we kind of all got here. So when I see that, and then my dad sees that, and then I see what my dad's doing, so I feel like it's all upon me to follow that DNA on, and to take it forward. Because obviously, like, no point, like, them like doing all the hard work, all that strife, and then my dad taking their step forward, and then me just kind of, that's it, like, it's done. Yeah. So I feel like that's similar for you, you know?
It is similar, but you see, the thing is that don't forget our parents, when they came here, they didn't have it easy either.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they had to find.
100%.
They had to find a house to rent, and then you'd find obviously in that house you probably have about 10 people, 12 people.
Yeah.
And when I speak to my family members, they said that we were on. They used to work in Shaftmore Lane, Lucas. It was called a Lucas factory.
Okay, yeah.
They're making parts for the motor industry, and they said that we used to have clock in, so 6 of us used to go to work in the morning, come home, wake the other 6 up, so they go to work and they go to sleep in the same beds that they were getting out of. So it wasn't easy for them as well. And that sort of thing that motivates you to do better, and you know, we are where we are today because of our parents and our grandfathers and grandparents.
Yeah, that's where the bike come from. Then, you know, Mirpur to Birmingham. Obviously, we took it to Big John Mela like back in the day.
Oh yeah,
that same project.
The Mirpur to the
Mirpur to Birmingham.
Yeah. Oh no, your father bought it. Yeah,
the conversations and stuff.
So,
that's what I learned a lot about my granddad.
Yeah. But see, the Mela, obviously we put it on every year.
Yeah.
Majority of our crowd that comes there is all from Azad Kashmir background. So when your father put it on, I think it was 2016 Mela.
Yeah, roughly.
It created a lot of interest. Because he had a lot of these historic panels showing the journey of people.
The whole storyline.
It's amazing. Should put it on again this year.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. Get it back up and.
This is in the garage somewhere.
Now we're hoping to revamp it. I think do it bigger and better. But
it's good because you see the next generation needs to know where we come from. See, a lot of the generation, the current generation, don't think.
No. They don't know what's happened.
They think that, you know, we
like even some of the stories that my granddad said on the old podcast, you know, that one was like he never told me, like, you know, because it comes up in different conversations. So I didn't realize like half his story. Like I didn't realize he was making curry himself. When his wife was in Pakistan, and as you were saying, you know, 16, 6, like all these kind of things. Like even like his older brother we went through wars, you know, like racism and stuff like that, like to protect our lineage and protect who we are. So when you learn that, it's kind of like I have to do better. Like there's no choice. Like what's the point of him doing all that sacrifice and for me just to waste it and just do nothing? Yeah. So then let's go back to Big John. So you know when you see the fish bar and then you turned it into what was that chip shop called?
Oh, we kept it as Sue's Fish Bar.
Sue's Fish Bar, okay.
And then we took on the shop in Erdington.
Yeah.
And I think for those 3-4 years for us were sort of learning the business. Because the first time we got into the food business and trying to understand it.
Well, do the game.
There you go. And then from that, the first branded Big John store. And first of all, people ask why did you call it Big John?
Yeah,
well, that's because when we were running the little paper shop, there was us two brothers there, and my brother's 6'4" and he's a big lad.
Yeah.
And his name is Jahangir. My name is Babar. But you know, for the English people, it's a bit difficult to pronounce Babar and pronounce Jahangir, so they called us Bob and John for short.
Okay, yeah.
And so it just stuck from there. So with my brother being the size he was, John, Big John, and that's where it came from. So when we done the first branded store, we thought, what we're going to call it? Well, why don't we just call it Big John's? And it was just why we complicate something. The brand is there, the guy is there, it's real, there's a story behind it. And that's
is the story important?
Story is important because people need to know your journey. People like to know, people are interested in your journey. And that journey motivates people.
It's that relatability, and it's like, the guy next door, like my neighbor.
Started from Erdington, and now they're a national brand. Inshallah.
So then, what was the sacrifices that it took? So obviously, we weren't all plain sailing. It's not like I opened this paper shop, then boom, opened a fish bar, and then boom, Big John, then boom, we all down the 11 route. And then,
I think the sacrifices, you sacrifice your time. A lot of you don't spend enough time with your family. We didn't spend much time with our mother as well, because we're so involved in our work. So one of the regrets you do have is that, we didn't spend enough time, but we're just too busy trying to create a brand. And that's where we are.
Time's one sacrifice, but then there's a sacrifice and also the pressure of continuing forward. So how does that all kind of fit in?
In anything that you gotta have passion. You gotta have that passion in what you're doing. If you don't have passion, if you don't have dedication, there's no point. And you gotta have the other thing you gotta have in your life when you're growing a business. You've got to have dedication to what you're doing. You can have motivation all day long, but if you don't have the principles of doing the stuff, there's no point. And we've sort of got on with it from store 1 to store 2 to store 3 to store 4. Within a short space of time, we built a brand. And a lot of it's down to hard work. And effort, and a lot of it's down to sometimes good luck. You can open a shop and it can all go tits up. And we've been fortunate enough that wherever we've placed our locations, wherever we've opened a store, it's been at the right location, and it's done well. And the key thing is that when we were growing the business, we didn't want to overprice ourselves. We wanted to provide a good product at the right price, value, and our brand is all about community. Our brand is all about family, and that's why we created our menu to cater for all members of the family. So rather not just doing chicken or pizza. It's all your takeaway favorites under one roof. So if family members came down, you want to cater for the whole family. Someone wants pizza, someone wants chicken, someone wants kebab. So all that under one roof. And the main thing was that we were sort of making sure that we provide variety, but also at the same time has to be at value. Don't sort of cut corners and make it cheap. Make sure it's good quality food for at a value price, and that's how the brand grew.
So talking about the principles, so behind the strategy, so obviously it's a community and family business orientated, but then you're saying obviously it's a bit of luck, and then there's principles. So when you're on a bad day, or let's say you ain't got the motivation or whatever, you get these things done, and then you're kind of halfway there.
Look. It's never all plain sailing.
So what sort of principles are they?
I mean, look. If I said, if you asked me, have all your stores, whatever you've done, have they been successful? No, we've learned harsh lessons in some places where we shouldn't have opened a store in certain areas because they didn't do well, and we've had to close them down. But that's part and parcel of learning.
Of the game.
Of learning of the game.
So then, obviously, it's part and parcel of learning the game, but that's after the fact. When you're in the moment, you're hurting, you're bruised up. So then, how is you kind of navigating that? So I call it the Amir Khan knockout. Have you seen it?
Knockout.
Canelo.
Oh the one where he knocked him out.
When he knocked him out. So Amir Khan's flat on the floor, and so that's kind of like, everyone has them kind of moments in life. But obviously at the time you're gone. You feel like it's finished, it's all over. But then the rebrand and the rebuild from that obviously takes time, dedication. So was there ever a moment where you got hit like that, and then it was kind of like making it back? And how did that kind of happen?
Look, we've learned some harsh lessons over the years. We've had knockouts. We've had banks at the door. Got to the point where, at some times that we got to the position where banks were going to foreclose on us.
Okay.
And then you've got to work your way around. You've got to, it's a case of survival. We've had, all sorts of challenges, and it's how you overcome those challenges.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there and cry your eyes out. You don't get nowhere. You just gotta get on with things. And it's never been plain sailing. We've made money, we've lost money. We've had bad experiences, good experiences, but it's all part of life. It's all about learning.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, what our mother taught us both brothers, and that's the sort of message we instill in our children moving forward, is that, look, when you're together, when you're together, you're strong, and if you're divided, you're weak. Yeah. So both of us brothers have, regardless of issues, but we've kept together, kept it strong.
Yeah. It's the story of the three branches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Go on then. Oh, so, the two. Yeah.
So obviously three sticks together are stronger than one.
Yeah. Well, they say united you stand, divided you fall.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the message that our mother gave to us, and that's the message we pass on to our children. And both of us brothers, we've stayed united throughout. And been motivating each other. When my brother's down, motivate him. When I'm down, he motivates me. And that's how we got on.
Yeah. Now I think that's massive, because it's hard. It's hard, especially in business or in any field where you're so close together. Yeah. To keep that connection.
It's a
testament to you, to both of you, for your character, to actually keep it together for this long. Yeah. Let's talk about Anzal Begum Foundation. So, how did that come about, and then the story behind it, and obviously why it's so important?
The Anzal Begum Foundation, we set up the foundation just after Mum passed away. See, what happened was, when Mum passed away, about a couple of years later, a lot of people came to us and saying that, when I went to Pakistan, or my brother went to Pakistan, or even people that she knew around this community here, she goes, "Oh, your mother used to do this." And we didn't know. We didn't know. We knew she done charity work. She was always giving away. But to the extent that she was doing work, when she was in Pakistan, she was feeding the poor all the time. She was getting young girls who couldn't afford, the parents who couldn't get their daughters married. She was paying for it.
Okay.
And she was doing food parcels in the area that she lived. She was doing all sorts of stuff that came to light afterwards. And so we thought, well, look, we can't just stop that work that she was doing. It's almost like a legacy.
Yeah.
So we set up the foundation to continue that work. To continue that work, and also get other people involved. So between 2008 to about 2019, we're just doing small work, small projects. And then in 2019, I went to Pakistan with close friends of mine. They're in the charity game. Okay. And they took me to Tharparkar, which is in Sindh in Pakistan. We live in Karachi in Pakistan, and that's in an area called Sindh, the province of Sindh. And north part of Sindh, there's a massive desert there called the Thar Desert. It sort of goes on and borders on into India as well. Yeah. And it took us there, and we went to see how people were living. And when I got there, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked to see how people in the 21st century were living in the conditions they were living. No water. Basic requirement for any country in the world. The basic need is fresh, clean water, and they didn't have that. Didn't have access to that. And the guys went to Zahir Khan and Inam Malik. They're from Human Appeal. Yeah. They took me there, and it's one of their projects that they were looking to start off. So I thought, look, I want to be involved in this project, and somehow through our foundation, using our profile and the following we have, and the connections we have, and the people that we meet in our daily lives, and the business community that we're involved in, get create that awareness with these people, and then raise funds so we can start building solar water plants. Now, just to give you an idea of Tharparkar, there's 2,000 villages or settlements in that region, and there's 1.7 million people who live in those settlements. 1.7 million, just one point. I mean, when we say 1 point, it's a massive amount of people.
It's bigger than Birmingham.
Only 10% of them have access to fresh, clean water, and we thought, no, we need to do something about this. So they had a project of building solar water plants. So I came back to UK in 2020. In March, we started fundraising. So I thought of a different way of fundraising, not bucket collections. And, you know, I thought, well, look, do it through music. Call artists into the country, well-known artists, well-established artists. Do a fundraising event. Do an evening with Atif Aslam or evening with Raat Fateh Ali Khan, and through that raise funds. Don't charge tickets. Invite the business community, the friends, the family, all the people that you know. Call them, invite them, and tell them the story. Show them what you've seen, and hopefully, if they buy into it, they'll donate to you. And that was sort of the catalyst. The first fundraiser we done was with Atif Aslam on top of Tipu Sultan. At the top of the restaurant. We had about 300 guests that came, and we raised £270,000. And that was and that just started the whole project off. So if you look at 2019, when I went there, till 2022, which was my last visit in November, we've built almost through human appeal and fundraising and creating the awareness. We've built about 60 solar water plants in villages. Each village, you know, serves up to about 3,000 people. So, you know, 200,000 people, almost 200,000 people, as a result of fundraising and creating the awareness through Anzal Begum Foundation or through human appeal, are now benefiting of getting fresh, clean water to the door. So I'm happy with that.
No, mashallah is good. Because it's baby steps. You can't change it all overnight.
It's all being done in memory of our late mother and the work that she was doing in Pakistan at the time.
So then, what's going forward with Anzal Begum Foundation? Is it?
We continue. I mean, we've got a regular plan of monthly food parcels that we're doing. 500 food parcels we distribute to the poorest of areas every month. We've also during Ramadan, I travel to Pakistan, and we do grand iftars. So we find an open courtyard where we lay out food, and people just turn up for opening their fast. We get up to about 1,000 people. Poor people who can't afford, and you know, especially this time where the cost of living is so high. The cost of living is high here in the UK, but it's even worse in Pakistan. I mean, you may have seen that the value of the rupees devalued down to, you know, 320 to 330 rupees to the pound, and that has a knock-on effect because everything else gets expensive, and the average person just can't afford. You know, you hear horror stories of how people are surviving in Pakistan. You know, it's just horrible. We just go and do what we can. You know, we're not going to change the world, but you know, like you said, baby steps.
But how do you fit it all into a day? Bringing it back around.
Well, the thing is now that myself, my brother, not so much involved in the day-to-day running of the business, and you know, there's other people who are running the operations, and we're more focused on the charity side, and so
you're more on a consultancy basis, kind of.
On the charity?
No, on Big John's.
No, Big John's is because that's sort of other family members and.
No, so what I'm saying is you're taking more like a consultancy role in terms of like you kind of just.
We're just there in the background to advise, you know, the sort of journey of Big John's and how we see the brand should continue. But our focus more is now on the charity side and doing, you know, we're getting at that age now where I don't know how long we got to live here, but you know, you just got to continue doing the best as you can. and passing it down to the children and other family members so they can sort of continue with the brand. But we're sort of focused on the charity side. And that takes, if we're doing about 3 or 4 events of the year, that takes a lot of your time. And then we've got the Mela on top, which takes 3 months of our life out as well. So it's a busy year every year.
Was it hard relinquishing control of Big John's? Obviously, you're giving it to your children and obviously the family.
Yeah, we haven't just passed it on to the children. I mean, obviously they've been reined in by family members who are making sure that they, don't get carried away with it.
No, what about for you? So for you, like, even because obviously it's your baby, like
it is.
Even if you're giving it to family, you're still kind of like.
Yeah, but you see,
you're not operational anymore.
Like, yeah, but you have to have an exit plan, and you have to have a plan that sort of for the next generation. We're not here forever.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure there's steps there that other family members or people who take on the business can carry on the business and provides an income for the family and provides a lifestyle for the family. It was different when we were growing up.
So how do you instill the same values into your children that your mother gave you?
I think
they're in a different environment.
Yeah, I don't think we physically have to talk it so much with them because they see it. They see the hard work. They see the ethics and the morals that we've been taught. They see that. So a lot of it doesn't have to be. You don't have to sit them down and talk them the story. They've seen it. They've seen the journey of our late mother. They know what our mother was all about, and they understand it. And I mean, look, I'm not going to be sort of. I don't want to brag here, but we've got nice kids. They're mashallah, and they're well grounded. We've always taught them to be humble. It doesn't matter what you've got, what car you're driving, how many shops you've got, how many businesses you have. It doesn't mean nothing. Just be humble and be good to one another and be good to others. And I think, and they see it through us and the hard work that we've put into the business, and they appreciate that and they want to do the same. So that sometimes you don't really have to sit them down. They see that. They see that.
So actually, Big John Mela. Yeah, before I forget.
Mela, that's my favorite. The Mela is
of the 3 months every year.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, the Mela.
How did you come about actually?
The Mela in 2015, we were invited to sponsor. I think one of their Birmingham City Council used to do the event, and I think one of their sponsors pulled out, lastminute.com, and they said that we were just approached by somebody so that would you like to sponsor the Mela? So we just became sponsors and we attended the event. We put a small stall on and we just looked. I was there looking at the event and thinking, there's about 10,000 people turned up on the day throughout the day, and I thought, wow, this is a community event. It's not well publicized. It's not well managed or run. It's just put on for the sake of putting it on. Because it's it's a sense of duty from whoever.
There's no love in the product.
Let's just put an event on just to get the community. And I thought, well, hang on, this could be something massive. And so we spoke to the council the following year, because I think the council had made a decision that they were pulling out funding for cultural events at the time. So we put a tender in and said, look, we'd like to run the event every year. And I think there's 2-3 other people who also wanted to get involved in it, and I think we won the tender. And since then, it's we've been doing it since 2016. We've been doing it for 5 years. We've had a 2-year break because of COVID. And it's grown from a 10,000 event, 10,000 attendees to last year where we had over 2 days we had almost 120,000 people turn up. So and it's amazing, and we really enjoy putting it together. The whole team really enjoys putting it together. And the time goes so quick. There's 3 months of planning, and the 2-day of the event, and on Monday morning you're waking up thinking, hang on, what happened the weekend?
It's done, isn't it?
It's just done. But people enjoy it. And for us, it's another opportunity to showcase the charity work, because we do fundraising through on the Mela Day. We promote the foundation, promote the work that the foundation is doing. So it's an opportunity. Yes, it's an event, as a cultural community event, but at the same time gives us an opportunity to showcase the work that the Anzal Begum Foundation is doing in Pakistan here, and helping to support the poor, and encourage other people from different backgrounds, whether you're Hindu, Sikh, Muslim. Encourage them to sort of
bring the culture together,
get involved, and donate and help the poor. Well, and Big John's, the brand itself, like I said to you before, it's all about community and family.
But it's testament to you and Big Uncle, because going from obviously Sue's Fish Bar, paper shop, Sue's Fish Bar, and then it was risk again to Big John's, and then now it's another risk. Like even though it's a Mela, but it's something different. It's something abstract. So it's kind of like, so it's clear that it's not about the money or like monetary gain or whatever. It's about success, longevity. So then, when did it end? Like, when did it stop? Obviously now you're going national. So
I mean, we're relaunching the franchise later this year. The plan is to grow national. Plan is to get about 100 franchises up and down the country.
Why 100?
Well, maybe more.
Maybe
more. Maybe international. As well.
Did it ever stop?
What's that?
Big John's, like this whole drive, this whole thing of success. Like
it only stops when you stop.
That's what I'm asking.
When you stop, when you stop having the love for the business, the love for the brand, the passion for the brand, that's when it all falls apart. You just got to keep that going. And it's with anything. It only stops when you stop. How hungry are you? How much do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve in life? That's what it is. And the day you stop,
it all stops. And so is it ever gonna stop for you? Like, was there ever an end goal? So obviously Babar at, I don't know, let's say 14 years old or 15 years old, when he started getting a bit of a passion for something, did you ever think, like, actually, my brother, so when you got here, like, was there ever like, oh, I'm gonna have the house on the hill, that's it, done, play golf on the weekend and boom, that's it?
We're not. I don't understand the game of golf anyway. They say that you should.
That's an example, but
Yeah, but look, my brother and myself sometimes talk about this when we're sitting down. That did we ever think that two boys from Sparkbrook would get this far and achieve what we have? We've created brands over the year. Tipu Sultan is one of our brands. Sher Khan in Star City is one of our brands. Oodles and Noodles in Star City is one of our brands. Big John's is a brand. Big John's Mela has become a brand. The Anzal Begum Foundation is also a foundation supporting and helping others to alleviate the issues they're having. So did we ever think that? No. We never thought that we'd get this far, and it's with the will of the Almighty and the blessings of our parents that we're where we are today. But we never ever thought that we'd get this far.
Was there ever like imposter syndrome, like where you thought you're too big, like you don't belong where you belong? Do you get where I'm coming from? So like, let's say now you got Big John's. And okay, let's say, all right, store number 1, most people have done that. So let's say store number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now you're in your own threshold. Like, you're in the top 1% of franchise owners, or like owners of multiple stores, or whatever you want to call it. We don't a whole conglomerate. So
we don't. You know what? Thing is, I want both of us brothers. We never. I'll be honest with you.
Do you ever think you're a fish out of water?
Yeah. Sometimes we ask ourselves how many franchises we got, because I can't remember. It's just a number now. Whether it's 17, 18, 19, how many franchises we got. And sometimes we miss one out. When we're doing our tallying, we missed one out. We missed that one out. So it's like I said to you in the beginning, it's not about the money. It's about creating a brand. It's about creating success and motivating other people, having passion in what you're doing, and creating employment. The brands between Big John's and Tipu Sultan and Sher Khan and Oodles and the foundation work and the Mela, they probably employ about 700 people. That's 700 people benefiting from these businesses, these brands, and their families. I remember the people when we started business back in 1984, when we started getting into the fast food game, the first lot of people that came to this country were the Albanians. Then they came. Then the Kurdish community came to this country. So the Albanian community, then the Kurdish community, then the Iranian community, then the Iranian community, then the Iraqi community, and then now it's the Romanian community. If you look at those people who worked for us, they've gone on to, when they've left us, they've gone on, they've had their families, bought their families here, they've got their own houses now, they've got their own businesses now. So all as a result of, starting with us. So we're proud of that. We're proud that, we've supported so many families across the UK to establish their lives here and, be part of be part of UK, and now they've gone on and opened their businesses. So it's all sort of contributing to the economy. So that's something we're proud about, and also creating the brand and creating employment and creating wealth for people.
No, mashallah, good man. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Appreciate it.